main eventer, Maddie Levine. This woman deserves main events anytime she fights because she's the main event in our eyes. The one and only, I think she was a corner woman this weekend.
You gotta ask her about this.
I know so much. The one and only, our favorite, Gillian the Savage Robertson.
What is that?
What's happening, lady? How are you?
I was gonna say, I actually stand with Dave's point on that. I don't think that's a main event.
Wow. See,
it's a great fight too. It's an awesome fight, but it's not a main event of a pay-per-view.
Honestly, even with how the card is stacked, I'm like, there's so many big names on the card. When I'm scrolling to the top, I expect there to be a bigger name for a main event.
Yeah,
I'm like,
fair. Would
so
you
much more hype?
Would you see it on like a lesser card, or just not at all?
No, I think a lot of the fights on the card are big. I think the fights themselves are a big card. It's almost like, I don't know, like a UFC 300 card, then with like a main event, you know?
That's fair.
No,
I think it'll be fun.
This thing, guys, I'm actually hyped on the fight. I've seen Asakura. I actually know of him. We love Pantoja here. Stud, flyweight, one of the best ever, actually. He's kind of really underrated, his legacy. It's not like I don't like it. It's just, it shouldn't be a headliner for a pay-per-view. Like, that's it. It's a co-main event or a featured fight on a pay-per-view. I love it if it was a fight night. You ready? I like the Shavkat versus the Ian Gary fight more. I do. Sterling and Mozart. I know people will go crazy. That's a bigger fight to me than, I don't know. I'm just
I think the co-main is a little more exciting than the main.
Yeah, the co-main.
But it's also because they're just louder. I think they're just louder. I don't know, but whatever. Go ahead, Jill. Sorry.
Sometimes that's all it takes, though. Sometimes it is the bigger star power, you know? And it's like to Pantoja, it's not like he's bad. He's a champ for a reason, you know?
Right,
he just doesn't have that, draw to him. He doesn't have that star power. So I think it is a little bit of that. It's like they are the loud ones. They are the ones who have that more star power going into it. And, why they slight Naljo like that again? Put him on the prelims twice.
I know. I saw that. And I was like, ooh.
He could be the greatest UFC bantamweight fighter of all time. If someone said that, I would listen to these debates and arguments. The man has fought featherweight twice and has been on the prelims both times. It's like, dude, they hate this man. They hate him.
So bad.
Mozart?
Such a slap in the face. Such a slap in the face.
The second he lost that belt, they were like, yes, no.
I know. They're like, we're going to bury you.
This is my point. Great. Kron Gracie has not won a fight in 5 years. How is he on the main pay-per-view card? We have to pay money to see that. It's bullshit. I'm telling you guys. When
I told my boyfriend about that fight, he was like, Kron's still in the UFC?
Exactly. Brian Battle, that guy's awesome. How is that not on the main card?
Yeah.
Anthony Smith, and who's he fighting? Is it Dominic Reyes?
Yeah, Reyes, yeah.
Dude, that's a great fight. How's that not on the main card? I don't get it. It's bad.
Yeah. Well, listen, I have to go very soon. But before I go, I really want to hear about what happened this weekend because you might not have seen it, but G was at a fight night. I'll let you explain it. But you end up just hopping in to corner somebody. Can you explain this?
So his fight, I guess, how it fell together was just kind of a shit show in general.
Okay.
At weigh-in, he's the cameraman for Combat Night.
Got it.
And so at weigh-in, somebody's opponent didn't show up. So he said he would step up to fight. So as the cameraman, then Mitchell was like, well, you're working. And he's like, I'll do both. And literally did both all night long. Was videotaping fights. And I think they might have even got a video of this. He had somebody take off his shoes and put on the shin guards while he was videotaping fights. Never stopped. Never got off the stand.
Crazy.
Yeah. I'm like, kid's a gangster.
Yeah.
Off the camera stand, didn't even warm up, was just going to walk straight in the cage. And then Mitch was like, no, bro, you need a corner at least. You need Vaseline, something. And happened to be in the right spot. You know?
Right. That's so fucking funny.
Yeah, so he went out there, finished first round guillotine. I guess it went perfect. It was just so much respect for him. Kid's a gangster.
And he listened very well. You were giving him cues and he was right on it.
Oh, yeah. No, honestly, I've known him over the years very well. And I'm just a very smart kid. We've trained together in the past. I guess very well rounded. Just turned 21 recently, so still super young in the game and just wants it.
So cool. What a cool
I have genes that are 21 years old. True story.
Jesus Christ. Don't admit that, dude.
I don't know if you saw the next clip too of the other shenanigans he pulled of he actually fought with a shooter of Fireball in his cup.
I wasn't sure if that was him or not, but I did see the
That was him.
video. And
That
I was
was
like,
him.
you've got to be shitting me. Like,
Nope.
Did he drink
Jumped
it?
up on the what?
Did he drink it right then
Yep.
and there?
Oh yeah, right on,
Jumped
right
up on
the
the
face.
fence and chugged it real quick.
Dude, that's gross. All right, that's gross.
I mean, that's pretty funny.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Dave, what's grosser, a shoey or that? A shoey's way grosser.
He had it in his crotch, Maddie.
It was closed.
It's you know what happens down there? Stuff just leak. It's all over this.
Okay. On that note, I have to run.
Maddie,
Dude,
happy
that was
Thanksgiving to you.
Oh,
You're the
you too,
best.
guys.
Eat a lot of turkey on Thursday,
Yes,
okay?
yes.
Ham.
Happy
Eat the
Thanksgiving,
ham.
you guys. You're the best. Thank you, everybody, for watching always. I'll see you guys later.
All right,
See
there
you.
you go.
Bye.
Maddie Levine, the best. You ready for this one? G, I think I'm going to do something super cool. Let's see if I can figure this out. Live on air, of course. That's what we do.
That's what the best time to do it.
I know. Oh,
Look at that. Back to my cuddles.
dude, I missed this. Oh my
feels
goodness.
right.
All right. Huh? I
It
know.
just feels right.
It feels right. One thing, so a lot of stuff happened on the first hour I definitely want to talk to you about, but probably the biggest and what you just heard me and Maddie talk about. Are you a Thanksgiving-y person? I know, from Canada, but I know you lived in Florida for a long time. Do you do Thanksgiving? Do you go to a family's house? What do you do on Thursday?
This year, yes. It depends if there's a fight camp or not.
Good point. No fight.
Yeah.
No,
So
they're all in.
literally, when I told my mom, I'm like, I'm fighting November 9th. She was like, oh, good. You can come home for Thanksgiving and Christmas then. Because I'm like, last year, I think
Yeah.
I fought, it was early January. So I was cutting weight all through the holidays. So I was just like, I'm not going to go home. I'm not going to do anything. But this year, I get to celebrate a little bit. What my family does, they do like a little Thanksgiving just with
Yeah.
family, small things. But both holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving, I should be good for.
I thought about that, and I know this is like a dumb question, but like, do you ever think about you get a fight? I know 99% of the time you get something, Dean texts you, you go, yes, and you just say yes and keep it moving. Do you ever think of like dates? Is there something like, hey, we have a trip planned, or like this, like just dude, Grant is fighting on January 11th, and one of the things we talked about jokingly, yeah, he's not doing Christmas this year. Like Christmas is not a thing because when you fight January 11th, December 25th is like the prime. Like that is your best week of training. So like there's no Christmas for Grant this year.
Yeah, no, for me, I'm like, it really is. The second year in fight camp, holidays don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
I think this year was the first year I celebrated my birthday in like a couple years because I was out of fight camp. And it's like, I don't know, I just don't even think about like stuff like Christmas, Thanksgiving. I'm too set on whoever's trying to beat me up in 5 months.
Yeah. Talking about that, did you see the co-main event at UFC Macau?
Oh, yeah. Jan was on point. Both the Jans were on point.
Yeah,
but
both the odds were on point. Gee, we posted about this on Fight Pass, and I'm not even joking. And there's no, at least on my part, or at least on your part, I believe there's no ill will towards Tabitha, all that, right? She had the worst first round in UFC history. I don't know if you saw, we posted about it. Jan had 24 strikes, kicks, whatever. Tabitha had literally 0 strikes in the whole first round. Not one. They're calling it the worst first round ever.
Yeah, I guess I kind of noticed that during the fight. I never looked at the statistics, but
Yeah.
at the first round, I was just like, oh, she's got nothing for her. Like, she literally couldn't touch her. Even the second round, I think it was, she took her down early. Jan just, literally just stood right, like Derek Lewis style, just stood right back up, Yeah, both the girls, I can't remember her name. She fought earlier in the night with the head kick knockout.
So we talked about that earlier. Xin Ming or Xing Shai Ming, the doctor. She's a doctor.
Yeah. Her, I'm like, I was reading it said that her parents don't even know she's a UFC fighter.
Doesn't know. She almost didn't want them to know for a long time.
It's crazy. But yeah, both the girls, really showed up, man. They beautiful knockout, and then Jan just completely shut out Richie.
Then the third one, I think this is the one that you and I were texting
Yeah.
that morning because it was 6:30, so I knew Jillian was up, so that's why it was a good text. It was the Joker girl who I'm watching the fight, so it's so funny. The other girl, I don't think has a big future in the sport, but like, I can throw. It has a couple submissions, all that. I think she's fine. But the Joker girl, like, was so hyped and like, dude, they were on the broadcast, like, oh, biggest star. I'm like, I
think
don't
she
know
was a
about
1,400 favorite. Even it was something crazy. It was like it was definitely above 1,000 that she was a favorite.
Yeah,
That I'm like,
got smashed.
Yeah, and even that she looked good in the first round. She just, we were even texting about it. I feel like her offense is good. She looks good when she's on the kill, but it doesn't look. I believe it was Gabriella
Fernandez,
Fernandez. Yeah, that's what I'm
yeah,
gonna say. Yeah, she didn't look like she was doing too much in the first round, and then once she got that little bit of confidence and kind of just went for it,
yeah.
I feel like Wang Kong didn't know how to handle it. Like she doesn't know how to handle that pressure. She doesn't know how to handle being the nail or the B side. She just likes to be the A side and looks good doing it.
Maybe this is a really dumb question. Do you train that? Do you train being the B side or the nail? Is like, hey, let's see how you deal with you getting into a flurry, or is it just kind of maturing as a fighter? You've been in everything. You've done highs of the highs, lowest of lows, best rounds, worst rounds. Can you train that, or you just have to go through it?
No, I feel like I train it.
Yeah,
Every week I usually have 3 sparring days, sorry. And one of them I do with the girls, so then that's a day where I can work my shit. I can work being good at my shit and being the aggressor. And
yeah,
then the second day I always work with the boys so I can get beat up. I can be the B side. I can know how to get beat up. I can know how to even like get shut down and have to keep on going, be
yeah,
relentless with things. So I'm like I definitely like to split it up. I remember when I was like, I don't know, 20 years old, 21, coming into ATT, and Amanda Nunes' wife, Nina Ansaroff, or Nina Nunes now, I guess.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
Nina used to beat my ass like so bad, and I couldn't take her. Like she was just so much more athletic than me on the feet. Her striking was so good. She sat down on her punches hard, and I could not take her down to save my life when I was that age, you know. So it
Yeah.
would make my rounds with her like literally just a lose lose. Like there was no. I would go back to the corner with Dean though, and he'd tell me he's like, "These are the rounds we work on your mentality."
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
for
these are
sure.
the rounds that we learn on how to deal with this shit and keep on coming regardless of who's in front of you or what's happening. Cause like going back to Wang Kong, like that's what Gabriela Fernandez was able to do. She was able to be like lose a first round and then find it and come back in the second round.
Yeah, that straight left was beautiful. Like she had a couple good weapons. Um, real quick, we mentioned Thanksgiving, but I didn't ask you the question. What is like your go-to? Is there something you're like, oh, Dave, I got to eat this? Like my mom makes this special, or you have to bring something to it. What's your go-to Thanksgiving food?
Because I'm not huge on a lot of Thanksgiving Day food. I don't know.
Me either.
I definitely like the ham always. I love ham.
Maddie said the same answer. That was Maddie's answer. Wow.
That's
Okay.
about it. Anything else, I'm like, I'm not a huge Thanksgiving Day food
Okay.
person.
No, me too. Me too. All right. So back to the fights. Oh no, and then yeah, Peter Yan. That main event was awesome. Like, was so good. And I don't know about you. We talked about it earlier. I don't know why. And like I said, it was funny. Maddie totally agreed. If you would have guessed any UFC fighter that their son would have came in there, said something nice, and like smiled, Peter Yan would have been my last pick. Like, I just don't see that. He's such a machine, a robotic. Like I thought, like I like Peter Yan so much more than I did because, like, for one, the fight was amazing, so good, grappling, striking, defense, offense, everything. And then the son going in there, rooting for him, and like you can see Peter smiled. It was just like, dude, this is a guy. This is a dude. I loved it.
So from both parts, like Figueiredo too looked absolutely
Yeah,
like both guys look that fight was great because of both fighters. You know, they
yeah,
were both very high level. It was beautiful fight to watch, very entertaining, and it's funny you say that because literally the week before I saw a interview of Peter Yan and he was talking about his last loss, I believe, and an interviewer asked her like what his son thought of it, and he was like, "Yeah, my son came up to me and said, 'Brother, what the fuck?'" And then I saw his son on TV, and that was the first time I saw him, like ever. And I was like, "So that's the kid who was like, 'Brother, what the fuck?'"
We're cutting that into a clip. You can get that on Fight Bananas official on IG very soon. Talking about a clip, dude, there was a clip. I don't know how Fight Bananas got it. I'm still very upset about this, G. But a clip got posted last night about a fight. Would you fight a UFC fighter? Somehow they had our, we were just, I thought we were playing. You took it super serious, and you were like, top 10, you were trying to submit me very early, but whatever. But I guess that clip went really well. I guess we're over 200,000 views on IG and Facebook alone. So shout out to everyone that liked that clip. But I told people earlier, I was like, maybe there might be a new clip in the works. Maybe someone has to take a trip down to the goat shed in South Florida in the near future. So we'll see if it happens. We'll see.
The cage is waiting for you.
There you go. Talking about the goat shed cage, we had earlier, I had no idea she trained at GOAT and trained with you. She talked about you earlier. We had Jade on earlier on the show, the Karate Combat, from France. Dude, super nice, very well spoken. How long have you been training with Jade, and how's that go? How's that like?
So it's probably been about I want to say 6 months to a year, maybe. She's been kind of in and out of Goat Shed. Her boyfriend currently trains at Goat Shed. Actually, he just got signed to the UFC, Alberto Montes.
Okay, cool.
So,
Love
yeah, Alberto trains with us full time. Jade is kind of like back and forth between us and France.
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably within the last 6 months to a year, she's kind of started going back and forth with us.
And I just hear she's like blazing fast kickboxing skills. Like that's the gist, right?
Yeah, I'm like, she's a firefight on the feet, regardless. She's going to come at you and she's going to try to kill you on the feet every single time.
Do you know why? Is it a visa thing or a family thing that she's like back in France, back and forth? Is it maybe she's not ready to make the move full time? Do you know?
I'm not 100% sure. I know that she was looking at fight opportunities in France as well. So she was dealing with both. She was previously fighting for Combate too. So I think that prompted the initial move to Miami, or the initial come to Miami.
Sure.
So I think she's just kind of been in between both right now. I'm not really sure the specific reason though.
Okay, very cool. Well, we'll kind of end on this kind of fun thing. Someone gave this to Fight Bananas, and I've been having this idea for a while, but I think I'm going to do it, especially if I do come down there in the next couple of weeks. So someone, really cool guy to Fight Bananas, donated a Johnny Walker signed UFC glove. We're going to give this away. We love doing giveaways. All you have to do is sub the YouTube channel. We're going to give this away. G, what I want to do is I want to get a couple of gloves, UFC gloves. And if you're cool, have you sign them. We'll do giveaways for our YouTube channel. Then 2 things came in the mail last couple of days. Are you do you collect anything of yourself? Do you have any stuff like this?
No, I've been sent a bunch of those just to sign them and things, but I've never collected them.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But I do have the gloves from my last fight, and if you need something.
Dude. You're the best. It's so funny you said that because I showed this. So Felicia, when she fought Cyborg, that incredible fight in Toronto, I think it was in Toronto.
Yeah, it was. It was actually in Edmonton because I was on the card.
You were there, right?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah. So these were the gloves. There's blood on them and everything. Cyborg blood. She gave those to us years ago. That'd be sick, G.
Yeah, of course.
Look at that. Cool. All right. That's the best ending ever. I don't think I got nothing else for you. Ian Gary and Shavkat, I guess. I don't know. That fight is awesome. That should be the main event. It's wild. I have Shavkat. You have Shavkat or Ian Gary?
Yeah, I think I have Shavkat for this one.
Okay.
I do like this matchup a lot, though. I'm very interested in it, and I was also interested though in the original matchup they had too with Buckley and Gary. I thought that was an interesting one too. But I think Shavkat it's definitely a big step up for him.
It's the best fight of the year left. Shavkat versus Ian Gary. And you're right. I think it's a step up for Ian as well. Ian was close in there, but Shavkat to me is I don't think Ian Gary has fought a finisher like Shavkat yet.
Mhm.
Like he's fought good guys, but not killers, if that makes sense. I just think he's got to be defensively respective of Shavkat, or he will just get murdered. Like it will happen. So I think that's a big fight. And then it's funny you mentioned that Buckley turns into Covington now. It's crazy. It's in Tampa, Florida. By the way, are you going to that fight? By the way,
Yeah, I was planning to.
okay. And then also, I'm talking to Karate Combat, and we just talked to Jade. You know, they're fighting in Miami on December 19th. Are you going to that?
Probably too.
Okay, there you go.
Usually
I
end
think
up at a
I'm
mall.
going to that one. I think I'm going. I'm talking with Karate Combat people, so I think I'm going to that one as well. So I'm pumped. Dude, big end of the year.
Maybe that's when the rematch happens.
Stop. In the pit?
We could do it Karate Combat.
All right. I'm ending this conversation in literally a minute. I'm making some texts. I think you know some people at Karate Combat too. I think that's what we do. I think it's a Karate Combat rematch.
Yeah, I gotta make it official.
Dude, they have that the influencer thing? We can do
Yeah,
one of those.
The influencer fight league.
Oh my goodness. What am I doing? But hey, you can't submit me. There's no submissions.
Yeah. So that makes it fair, right?
No, not at all. You would one leg kick from you, I would melt. You gave me like a 20% leg kick, and I think my leg still hurts from 3 years ago. So I know that wouldn't help. Guys, the absolute best. Follow her on IG, Savage_UFC. Anything else, G? I think we killed it.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
I love it. The background's different. Guys, Gillian Savage Robertson, she's going to enjoy the holidays with family and loved ones. We will too. Like I said, we're going to try to connect in the next couple of weeks. We got Karate Combat in Miami, but we are done. We'll see everyone later. Have a good, happy Thanksgiving. Later, G.
We'll see you.